everyone, and welcome back to Julian Speaks. Before we proceed with our next topic, or for this episode, please excuse me for my voice at the moment, basically because I've been talking the whole day and my voice feels a little bit tired, but hopefully we could work it out. So, well, again, if you're new here, this podcast is a safe space where we talk about honesty, about healing, and emotional growth, relationships, self worth, heartbreak, friendships are being tackled here as well, and the difficult emotions people that often hide behind smiles. So today's topic is very, I would say, uncomfortable but very real. The episode title is When Jealousy Enters the Friendship. Now, this is very common, I would say, jealousy in friendships. Because people often associate jealousy with romantic relationships. But honestly, some of the deepest jealousy people experience can happen between friends. And this topic is painful because friendship jealousy is rarely obvious in the beginning. Sometimes it hides behind passive comments, fake support, competition, emotional distance, like subtle negativity, or a discomfort whenever something good happens for you. Interesting. And honestly, nothing is more confusing than feeling unsupported by someone you genuinely considered as a close friend. So today we're going to be talking about is just why jealousy happens in friendships. Why there's comparison, why there's insecurity, like there's hidden resentment, like emotional competition, fake support, and how to protect your peace without becoming bitter yourself. So wherever you're listening right now, I'm hoping that you are safe, sound, and thank you so much for being here. So let's talk. Segment 1. Friendships are not immune to insecurity. I think many people grow up believing friendships should automatically feel safe and unconditional. But the reality is, friendships are still human relationships. And human beings carry insecurities, wounds, comparison, ego, fear, and emotional struggles. And so sometimes jealousy enters friendship quietly. And especially when the one person begins growing, succeeding, healing, changing, gaining attention, finding love, and becoming more confident. And honestly, jealousy between friends can feel very heartbreaking because friendship is supplied to feel emotionally safe. So you expect your friends to celebrate with your happiness. So when their energy changes during your growth, it hurts. Especially if they become distant, like dismissive. They became critical, passive aggressive, which is quite normal, or emotionally cold whenever good things happen to you. Okay. Well, that kind of emotional shift can feel confusing and painful for sure. Segment 2. Comparison destroys connection. Honestly, believe comparison quietly damages many friendships. Because one friendship becomes competition, emotional safety disappears. And social media has made this much worse. Because people would constantly compare the appearance, the relationships, the followers, the success, the careers, the money, the lifestyle, and the attention as well. And sometimes friends begin measuring their worth against each other instead of simply supporting each other. That creates emotional tension. And because comparison creates insecurity, and insecurity can quietly become resentment if it isn't dealt with honestly. And one of the saddest things about friendship jealousy is this. Listen, sometimes people genuinely love you, but still struggle emotionally watching you grow in the ways they wish they could do. And that truth is uncomfortable but real. And honestly, unresolved insecurity can make people unintentionally harmful. Not because they always hate you or they hate you, but because your growth triggers something painful inside themselves. Segment 3. Fake support hurts deeply. Okay, this is interesting. It's becoming more deeper and deeper now. So I think one of the most painful experience is realizing someone was not truly happy for you. Especially when someone you supported genuinely. Because fake support often feels subtle at first. Maybe they minimize your achievements, they avoid celebrating you, change the subject quickly, or make passive comments, disappear during your happy moments, or only feel comfortable around you when you are struggling. And honestly, that hurts deeply. Especially when you could have celebrated them wholeheartedly, you know? And I think many people eventually notice this painful pattern. Like some people are comfortable supporting you only as long as you are not growing beyond the version of yourself they became familiar with. With that moment, you become more confident, set the boundaries, heal, gain opportunities, or receive attention. And their energy shifts. And that shift can feel heartbreaking because you begin questioning the authenticity of the friendship itself. Segment 4. When friendship becomes emotional competition. Healthy friendships should not constantly feel competitive, right? But unfortunately, some friendships quietly become built around comparison. Who looks better, who earns more, who gets more attention, who has the better relationship, who is more successful, or who has more success in life, and who is more liked. And honestly, emotional competition destroys intimacy because genuine friendship requires emotional safety. And you should not constantly feel judged, compared, envied, or emotionally diminished by the people around you who claim to love you. And I think one of the saddest experiences is realizing someone secretly enjoyed feeling ahead of you emotionally or socially. Because some people feel comfortable around friends they subconsciously view as a less threatening. But when the dynamic change, insecurity appears. That's painful to experience, especially when you never view the friendship as competition to begin with. Segment 5. Healing changes friendships. You know, everyone, another uncomfortable truth is this. Healing changes friendships. Because when people begin healing emotionally, they often gain confidence. They create boundaries, they stop people pleasing. They protect their energy and they start valuing the peace more intentionally. And honestly, not everyone adjusts well to those changes, especially if the friendship previously benefited from your insecurity, your emotional availability, your lack of boundaries, and your tenderness to overgive. Sometimes people become uncomfortable when you stop shrinking yourself emotionally. And that's important to recognize because growth sometimes reveals who genuinely supports you, and who only felt comfortable with the version of you that needed less. And honestly, emotionally healthy people celebrate your healing. They do not punish you for it. Segment 6. How jealousy damages your trust. One of the hardest things that friendship or about friendship jealousy is that it slowly damages your trust. Because eventually you stop feeling emotionally safe sharing all the good news, the excitement, the dreams, or the happiness that you have. And you start downplaying yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable. And honestly, shrinking yourself into maintain the friendship that becomes emotionally exhausting, especially when you begin to feel guilty for succeeding, for growing, for healing, or simply by becoming happier person. And that's not healthy friendships. Real friendships should allow space for both to evolve without resentment. And I think emotionally mature friendships are built on this understanding. Someone else's success does not take away your value. Someone else's healing does not diminish your journey. And someone else's shining does not make you invisible. Secure people understand that. Insecure people, they struggle with it. Segment 7. Protecting your peace without hatred. Now, I want to say something important. Recognizing unhealthy energy in friendships does not mean you need to become bitter or hateful. Sometimes, jealousy reflects unresolved pain inside the other person. That does not excuse the harmful behavior, but it can help you understand it differently. And honestly, protecting your peace sometimes simply means creating emotional distance. Not every friendship needs dramatic confrontation. Sometimes you quietly stop over-explaining yourself, stop shrinking yourself, stop seeking validations from people who cannot genuinely celebrate your happiness. And that's growth. Because emotionally healthy people want a relationship where they feel genuine support. The growth feels safe. The happiness is shared instead of secretly resented. And you deserve a friendship that feel emotionally safe during both your struggles and your success. Segment 8. Learning to celebrate others without losing yourself. I also think that it's important to reflect inward, honestly, sometimes. Because jealousy is a human emotion. Everyone experiences comparison occasionally. And the important thing is what we do with it. Like, emotionally mature people process insecurity without projecting it onto others. And they learn the self-awareness, the emotional accountability, and how to celebrate others without feeling personally diminished. And honestly, secure friendships are beautiful because both people can grow without fear. There's no competition, no resentment, no emotional shrinking, just genuine support. And those kinds of friendship become incredibly valuable in adulthood. So if you're currently struggling with jealousy, comparison, or emotional tension inside friendships, please remember this, okay? Healthy friendships should not constantly make you feel emotionally small. You deserve people to celebrate who would celebrate your growth, who would support your happiness, who would respect your healing and feel inspired by your success instead of threatened by it. And one day, I hope you stop apologizing for becoming a version of yourself you worked so hard to become. Because real friendship should always feel emotionally safe, not emotionally competitive. Everyone, thank you, and thank you very much for spending this time with me today on Julian Speaks. So if this episode resonated with you, please share it to someone who may be also navigating difficult friendship dynamics or emotional growth right now. And if you'd like a deeper reflection about healing, emotional growth, friendships, boundaries, self-worth, heartbreaks, and learning to choose yourself again, definitely grab a copy of my book called The Space I Never Gave Myself. This is actually available on Amazon at the moment. And also, that support truly means so much for me. And don't forget to follow Julian Speaks on Spotify and on YouTube and other all social media platforms, which is on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok with username at When Julian Speaks. And I would truly appreciate that. But before we end this episode, just remember your story matters. And if you have a love story, heartbreak, healing journey, or life experiences you'd like to share with us, we would love to hear it. Your story may be featured on our podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And who knows, it could inspire someone else who's trying to heal or find themselves. So the mechanics on how you can send your story can be found on our Facebook page. We usually post it on Instagram and YouTube as well. And especially for our listeners from the Philippines, you're going to be a selected featured for storyteller. You will receive some Gcash credits as our little thank you gift. But for now, until next time, protect your peace, follow your heart, and keep growing. And I'll see you on the next episode.